Hi kids, Mr. Hajdukovic here. You can see I finished my my grammar math minute yesterday, and now I'm moving on to my second grammar minute 2. So I pulled my packet out of my binder and I turn my page carefully over. And remember, if you want to, if you have a smaller workspace to work with, you don't have to lay it out like this. I mean, these are just videos for you to see what I'm doing. You can do it however you want as long as you keep it organized and try to be responsible with it, because otherwise it's going to fall apart. So sorry about my hands being way up in the camera, but I just flipped mine over. So if you want to set yours up something like this, that would be fine. But again, please don't tear anything out. And like always, I'm going to just put my name at the top. You can see I have my name at the top, and after I write my name, the next thing I'm always going to do is read the directions. And it says for numbers 1 through 7, write yes if the sentence is in the correct word order, or no if it's not. And as we begin reading these sentences, you'll be able to figure out what they mean if those directions are confusing to you. So with directions, sometimes it's important that you don't just say, oh, I don't know what they mean. You have to kind of read the directions, then look through it, then maybe go back to the directions and try it again. And pretty soon it will start to make sense to you. So again, for numbers 1 through 7, write yes if the sentence is in the correct word order, or no if it's not. My dad is building a treehouse for me. Well, that seems to make sense to me. Sorry, I'm going to zoom out a little because somehow I've got two different things happening with my screen, but that's okay. My dad is building a treehouse for me. It is a complete sentence because it has that subject, it has that linking verb, building, and it does have a predicate. What's he building? And it is in the correct order because when I read it, it makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and put yes for this sentence. I'm going to move on to number 2. The puppy around ran the house. The puppy around ran the house. Well, it's got all the parts to a sentence, but it doesn't seem like they're in the right order to me. If I switch those up and I take this word ran and I were to move it here, the puppy ran around the house, that would make sense. But in this word order, they're a little bit jumbled. It doesn't make sense. So this sentence is not in the correct word order. Number 3. I watching television am. Nope. Again, I need to take this am and move it between I and watching if it's going to make sense. I am watching television. But the way it's written, it is not in the correct word order. Number 4. Maggie taught her dog a new trick. Well, that looks right to me. Maggie is the subject. Taught is a verb. I can teach someone something. And what did she teach? Her dog a new trick. So it goes subject, verb, predicate. That looks good. Please take the next few minutes, pause the video, and just go through number 5, 6, and 7. Read the sentence out loud, maybe read it twice out loud, and then just see if it makes sense. You have to be a little bit careful because as you read things, your brain is automatically going to try to make sense of it. So if you read too quickly, it may be in the wrong order, but your brain will switch it for you before you realize it, and you might make a mistake. So when we're proofreading, when we're doing things like this, we have to read pretty slowly. So it's okay to slow yourself down. Please pause the video now. And we're back. Number 5. The woman waited on the beach. Subject, the woman, and if I go back to the same colors I used yesterday, the woman is the subject. Waited is that verb that connects. And then where did she wait? On the beach. So not only is it a complete sentence, but it is in the right word order. So yes. Number 6. The flowers had a sweet smell. The subject, the flowers, had something, my verb. What did they have? They had a sweet smell. So this sentence is in the correct word order because it goes subject, verb, predicate. What did they have? They had a sweet smell. So yes. Number 7. The tent is for our camping trip. This sentence has my subject, the tent. It has my verb. And again, this one is tricky for me, but I'm pretty sure is my verb that connects. And then what is it for? Our camping trip. Okay, so it's either is or for. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's is. Either way, this is your predicate. The tent is for our camping trip. So yes, this is in the right order. Now I'm going to go down and read the directions for numbers 8 through 10 because those directions are different than the numbers for 1 through 7. So it's important we read all of the directions because if we don't and we just look at something, we're making an assumption about what we think we're supposed to do instead of knowing exactly what we're supposed to do. So I'm going to go ahead and keep zooming out. And it says for number 8 to 10, rewrite the sentences in the correct word order. Hint, remember that a sentence must begin with a capital letter. And I'm going to give you another hint. Don't forget to add that period at the end of it. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to myself, and then I'm going to write it in the correct word order because we have quiet to be library in the is not the correct word order. So you can pause the video now, get it worked out, and then go ahead and check your answer. So I rewrote the sentence, we have to be quiet in the library. The subject is we. The verb, again, these are the tricky ones, have to and be. I'm assuming again it's have, and I will double check all of this, but it's either have or be. But this is my linking verb phrase, I'm going to call it in this case, because again, I'm not 100% sure. These always confuse me. But this part includes my verb. Quiet is also can be a verb. But oops, and I did it wrong. So we is my subject. I'm sorry, I should use consistent colors. Have to be would be my verb is in there, and then quiet in the library. So I'm going to just double check some of this stuff because I don't like to give you incorrect information. So I'm going to ask a few people what their thoughts are. But it should say we have to be quiet in the library. This is where my question is because it's not just, I think there's more than one verb in there. So let me double check and then I'll get back to you. But we is a subject. My verb is somewhere in here, have to be quiet. And then where do I have to be quiet in the library? That completes my thought or completes my predicate. So give me another second here. I'm sorry I have to keep running out like this. After further review, I did come to the conclusion that we as a subject, have in this case is the verb. Have means to own or possess. And then to be quiet, that's describing what I have to do. So quiet is the adjective, where is in the library. We have to be quiet in the library. Number 9, writing the students our letters. Writing the students our letters. Go ahead and pause the video, rewrite the sentence to make it make sense, and then turn on the video to double check your work. The sentence I wrote with my capital letter at the beginning is the students, that's my subject. are tells me what they're doing, and then it finishes by telling me they're writing letters. What are they doing? Writing letters. So this is my full sentence in the correct order. The students are writing letters. Number 10. Christopher Columbus about I reading am. Please pause the video, write your sentence, and then turn it on to double check your work. I am reading about Christopher Columbus should be your correct sentence. And the English language is super tricky, kids. Even at 44 years old and having done this for quite some time, I still get confused with specific things. That's pretty normal, but I'm going to tell you that the subject is I. And to me, as I talk my way through this, because it's review for me, am kind of tells me when this is happening. Because if it says I am, it means I'm doing it right now. If it were to say I was, then I know that it happened in the past. So this word doesn't quite tell me what they're doing. It tells me when they're doing it. Reading then, to me, in my opinion, is the verb in this sentence, because that does tell me specifically what is happening. And then about Christopher Columbus finishes the thought. I am reading about Christopher Columbus. So hopefully by the end of it, I got all that right. But the important takeaway for you as you watch these videos to completion is to know, kids, that I'm doing these right along with you, because some of this stuff is not super easy. You should not be looking at it and going, oh, I know exactly what to do. Because kids, I don't know exactly what to do. And sometimes I really have to think about what I'm doing. That's why it's important to stay focused and engaged with what you're doing. So we're going to end this video now, because I don't want to get it more than 12 to 13 or 14 minutes, because then I know you're not going to be engaged the entire time. So thanks for listening. Please do your best work, and I will see you soon. Bye.